So the last month, I would say, I have been noticing a trend in the lives that I go into or that I'm a panelist on, where we ask MAGA to come up and we talk about certain things that is going on. The government shutdown is one of the biggest discussions going on right now. And I personally have seen a lot of misinformation, disinformation, and downright lies of what certain things are and what's going on. I'm going to make a series of videos, but this one starts with the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, that was signed in, I do believe, 2010 by former President Barack Obama, and it was the first ever legislation and law that regulated the insurance company, the for-profit, the privatized insurance industry. This was the first law that was ever put into place to regulate them and how they spend your money that you send every month in premiums. It also required that you cover preventative care medicine, because an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of fucking cure. It's easier to prevent a disease than it is to cure it after it's already infected you. And to eliminate the pre-existing clause for privatized insurance is to deny you coverage. The premiums stated that 80% of all premiums, that 80% of that money go directly to patient care, and they get a 20% profit. It capped their profits at 20%. And because insurance companies and insurances work by having large pools of people in one group pooling their money together to take care of everyone else that's on the group that might have medical issues. It's the reason why we need healthy people to be on these insurance packages. Not restarting this. It is doing the exact same thing that the insurance company through your employer is doing. Okay? It's just taking all of these people, this is how much it's cost, and we're going to split the entire cost for a year across all of the people that are in this pool. Okay? So doesn't matter if you get your insurance through the Affordable Care Act or the marketplace. That's where you go and get it, by the way, is from the marketplace. Okay? It doesn't matter if you get it through your employer. It doesn't matter. You were paying for other people on your same plan to get insurance. Okay? That's just how fucking insurance works. All right? I don't know what to tell you. The ACA, the law being in place, says that the insurer has to take 80% of those funds and put it towards the care of the patients in its pool. And they get a small 20% profit. The first bill of its kind since the privatization of our healthcare, which, by the way, we were not always a for-profit healthcare in this country. Healthcare was considered a citizen's right until Nixon. Nixon is the one who signed into law the ability for healthcare personnel, for hospitals, for doctors, for insurance companies to be for profit. Before, it was public service. But, we allowed rich people to get even richer. They just weren't satisfied with the 20% and being slightly above everybody else. They wanted it all. And, of course, they bought their way in, just like they always do. The ACA was a compromise. The Affordable Care Act is the same model that Mitt Romney used in his state. Okay? Giving everyone in his state health care. And if you did not participate in healthcare and understand that some of y'all were going to get free healthcare, okay, you weren't going to have to pay anything, in the premiums. But if you decided and refused to get even the free health care, that was it. You were going to have to pay a penalty, because everyone has to pay for it to benefit everyone. Americans are perhaps the most selfish people on the planet. You give them a little bit and they want more, and they take more. You give them an inch and they'll take a fucking mile. All for the endless pursuit to hoard all of the world's resources and the world's money. I don't understand it. Perhaps I never will. It defies the very characteristics of being a human being. The one thing that Americans need to get the fuck over is this selfishness that we have within us. To understand that taxes are the dues that you pay to live in a fucking society. Because our government is instituted by we the people. And whenever the government becomes tyrannical of what they're supposed to do, which is work for us, use our tax dollars to benefit all of us, and understanding that everyone has to participate, that the more you make, the more you're supposed to give, the more you're supposed to pay in taxes. That's how this works. That's how this works. Your taxes are pulled together, okay? And every quarter, 4 times a year, the government sends a bill to whatever insurance company or however you want to do it. And they get a check, and then they have to split it up amongst their employees. Okay? Now, like I said, the ACA was a fucking compromise. It was not anything that Barack Obama really and truly wanted for his signature bill to give us all health care. He wanted true universal health care, and we can do that. The model is already there, and it's working just fine. I know a lot of people are thinking, oh God, she's going to go Medicare for all. No, actually I'm not, because Medicare doesn't cover everything. I understand that a lot of people think Medicare is wonderful insurance, and it is. It is excellent. It is excellent insurance, but you're still paying a premium every month. They take it right on out of your check before you get it. Okay? You're still paying. You're still having to pay for drugs. You're still having to pay for medications. You're still having to pay for certain things, and it doesn't cover dental or eye care. But there is one medical insurance that is already being paid for by U.S. tax dollars that would be very easy to convert into the nation's insurance provider, and that's Medicaid. It covers the entire body. It covers vision, it covers dental, it covers medications, it covers surgeries, it covers the gamut. And it's right there waiting for us to get over our fucking selfishness and use that model for our benefit. You pay in right now something like the average American puts in about $38 out of their fucking check every single month taken for your Social Security and your Medicare and Medicaid. You eliminate having to pay employer-based healthcare insurance, and you take that and give most of the money that you would have been spending on that back to you in your pocket, and raise the tax rate just a little bit. So maybe you're having to pay, I don't know, $100 a month instead of just $30 for everybody to have insurance. Now, in other videos, they're going to be shorter than this. This is a long one because I'm trying to cover a lot in a small amount of time. But this just gives you the basics so that you'll be able to understand the videos coming forward. If you don't watch this video, you're not going to understand what the fuck I'm talking about. So come to this video first so you can learn about the ACA and what it actually is. And what was actually what Obama's signature piece of legislation would have been had Republicans not been so fucking selfish.